but I had an idea. I was sitting with Steven for lunch for a movie, and I think you could do it, but it's called Me Play Joke. And you got to get Matthew Perry. It's a romantic comedy. And it opens,
Me Play Joke, okay.
And Matthew Perry's like a kind of like a mid-tier, like, you know, municipal worker in the state, in the city.
Okay.
And he's out to dinner at Kanji Village with some, you know, friends from college and work, celebrating the death of his son. Who releases him from child support, which has been hanging over his head for 10 years.
Wow.
He hasn't paid any of it.
Right.
And he's like,
how does that work? If
that debt is gone. I don't know it, you know.
Wow.
And so he's celebrating, and he's also 10 years sober because that's the drinking led to his divorce. And he's like, I can celebrate, you know. He's like, fuck
I
it.
can celebrate.
You could have one.
He's like, yeah, let me get around the sake, and they're like, this is a Chinese restaurant. He's like, I don't fucking know the difference.
Yeah, fuck you.
And so at dinner, one of his coworkers is like a Vietnamese guy, and it's his mom's birthday or something. And he's like, he's like, I got to take this call. And he's on the phone, and he's like, Chong Rak Ding Do, you know, and then Vietnamese, and then Matthew Perry's drunk, you know,
right?
And he hasn't been drunk in years, and so he's like, you know, like making fun of,
right?
And you know, they're like, stop, what
Chill,
the fuck
dude,
are you doing? And then a Chinese woman, like at a table over, like turns to him, and she's like, you know, like starts speaking to him in Chinese, and he's like, I'm really sorry, I was just trying to bust my friend's balls or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, oh no, it's just your Mandarin is remarkable for a non-native.
Well,
speaker.
your accent is perfect.
Wow. He's like, it's perfect, and then he's like, you know, he's like, oh, she's like, call me sometime. And she like gives him his number,
right? And
he asks his friend, he's like, was I speaking Chinese? The guy's like, I'm Vietnamese.
Again, I'm Vietnamese. I don't know.
I don't know.
Sake is Japanese. Yeah. I'm Vietnamese. I'm not sure. I
have no idea. And then so he takes a chance, and he calls the lady, and you know, they agree to like meet up, and she's like, so like, yeah, it's incredible that you speak Chinese, and he's like, yeah, and then she says something to him in Chinese, and he doesn't like. He like tries to respond. He's like, "Bing," and she's like, "What?" You know, and then he's like, "Oh, excuse me for a second." Yeah, he has to get drunk. So he gets drunk. He goes in the bathroom. He's like, "You can do this,"
right?
You know, and they're at dinner, and he gets trashed in the bathroom off like hand sanitizer,
right? Ian's fighting style.
Yeah, and he comes back out and he's like, "Boozing, well, you know," and she's like enamored, and he's like speaking Chinese. And then so we have this whole like scene where they're kind of like building this romance together, you know. And he's speaking Chinese, and his friends are concerned. They're like, you know, Matthew Perry.
Yeah, Matthew Perry, you're drinking again.
The character, it's the true story of your life.
He's playing himself.
Yeah, he's like, they're like,
he's playing himself from 20 years earlier.
Yeah, they're like, dude, you're a complete fucking alcoholic. That like, this is like really worried about you. And he's like, hey. I'm finally free of this bullshit of my past life.
My child is finally
dead. I'm getting Asian pussy for the first time.
I'm in love.
I'm in love, and I'm not going to let you
I know Chinese.
I'm not going to let you fucking faggots rain on my parade. And they're like, it doesn't make sense that you're speaking Chinese or whatever. Yeah. And then so like the romance is building, and then one day he goes to her apartment to see her, and the apartment's like, you know, he like knocks on the door and it just opens, and it's like completely empty.
Oh no!
And Wei Ling is gone.
Oh no!
And he's like, what the fuck? And he's like, you know, did she leave or something? So he's like, I got to write her a note. So he runs to like the corner store and gets a couple of little airport shooters.
Yeah.
And so he starts drinking, and then like he's like as he's drinking out on the street, and he's writing this note, like all the street lights go off. Oh, like everything, there's like a whole blackout in the city, and he's not thinking about it. He just scrawls a bunch of like, we see him scribbling some Chinese nonsense on like and he just wedges it in the door. And then he's like really drunk, so he just goes home to sleep it off. And then bang, 4 a.m. doors kicked down, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and they're like, where the fuck were you last night? You know, like, yeah. And then he's arrested and thrown in jail. He's like, what the fuck did I do? What did I do? And then he's arrested. Wei Ling turns out to be a Communist Party spy.
Wow.
Guy was getting him drunk and exploiting. He got his access to like his municipal power grid.
Right.
They can destroyed the power grid in New York.
So he didn't know Chinese.
And on top of that, he finds out that he does, in fact, still owe child support.
Wow. The debt doesn't go away because the child dies.
Because the child died. So now he... and the ex-wife has already gotten a lien on it, so his money's gone.
Right.
Oh my
He has
God,
nothing.
everything's falling apart.
And then he's sitting in jail, and his friends are like, "Well, we don't know how to help you, dude. Like, we warned you. It's like we got to look out for ourselves. We can't be talking to you because you're accused of treason."
Yeah.
Basically.
Right. Would you get the death penalty for
And
that?
he's in his cell, and then an Asian woman comes in dressed, in like a lawyer's suit.
Uh-oh.
And he's like, Wei Ling? And she's like, no, my name's
No, I'm a
Tina.
public defender.
Your public defender.
I'm Taiwanese.
Yeah, I'm a completely different person. And he's like, what's going on? They're like, well, you've been like accused of, she tells him what's up. And he's, and at first she finds him to be like this boorish alcoholic.
course.
And then she's like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty stupid and racist to think that, and
Yeah.
he's like, and then he's like explaining to her, he's like, I didn't do this. He's like, you have to understand, all I ever wanted my entire life was to get pussy from an Asian girl.
Right.
And I've been a fucking loser forever.
Been a loser. Been a
And-
father. Friends has been off the air for 6 years at this point.
Yeah,
I'm a
and
fucking
all I've
drunk.
wanted to do, and then and he's like, yeah, I feel like so to a certain extent, like I'm a fraud. I get it, but and then she tries to relate to him, that her grandfather had to pretend to be Japanese to get around the Chinese Exclusion Act. So it's like you do what you got to do,
Right.
And then he's like, what's the difference? And she's like mad, and he's like, because they're all beautiful. And then she's like, wow, I think I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love with this guy. He must be innocent.
Right, of course.
And then, so the state's like key piece of evidence is the note that they have him leaving on Wei Ling's door,
Right.
Which proves some collusion.
Uh-huh.
And because it is like, it sort of looks like Chinese, but it's like it doesn't make any sense.
They can't tell what it
They
says.
can't tell.
They think it's code.
And so he takes the public defender out to Kanji Village, and where they went the first night,
Right.
and she realizes that they're menu items from Kanji Village
Oh.
that he's sort of just.
So he sort of can speak Chinese.
no,
when
he just,
No, he
he
just
just remembered a couple of
Okay.
characters
They were just
Okay.
in his subconscious.
in his subconscious.
That,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then she
Interesting.
proves that it's just the menu from Kanji Village or whatever scrawled on there, and he gets off.
And no child support either.
And no, it's just he just ignores it. And then-
Yeah.
And no, sorry, he doesn't ignore it. What it turns out is that Tina, the public defender, her family is a bunch of Chinese billionaires. So
Oh,
he
nice.
just lives off her, and he decides to keep drinking.
That's all.
Clothes on. It's a year later, and he's like meeting her. He's like going over to her parents' house and taking off his shoes and just speaking like perfect Mandarin.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
While drunk, and it's called Me Play Joke.
He played joke.
Sorry, man.
And what's
Can
the
I-
titular joke?
What?
That he was doing fake Chinese.
pretending to do fake
Yeah.
Wait, Nick, can I ask you a question?
What?
Is any part of that, if you look inside of your own soul,
Yeah.
is that a fantasy for your own life,
I'm not,
perhaps?
you don't understand, Adam. I'm not a yellow fever guy.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
But you
you've
do
been
love-
sober for a long time. You haven't had alcohol
It
for a long
does seem
time.
to scratch a lot of itches.
You love
check a lot of
Chinese
boxes.
culture.
Well, in any artist, part of themselves. is
You're sharing.
certainly the part about falling off the wagon, and then the moral at the end of the story being that you should continue drinking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that much different than the best part of your life is when you live with the Chinese family.